A lot of them have been in the family for 200, 300 years. There's obviously Victorian furniture, which would have been bought by the 2nd Earl, who was effectively the Earl throughout Queen Victoria's reign, but there is some from the 1st Earl's collection. Well, we did a beauty parade of a number of different auctioneers, and we were impressed by what you did at Elvedon. Unfortunately, it was a real bore. I couldn't be around for the sale or indeed for the viewing, but one of my team went down to the viewing and was impressed with the way things had been set out. We were particularly impressed by the brochure and obviously the amount of interest that you generated. It was fairly simple in the main, in as much as the attics and cellars were fairly full to bursting. We've started doing attic tours and cellar tours, which people book ahead for, and even on those tours, they were having to, it's quite difficult getting around some of the furniture, so we had to do a lot of shifting and moving of things. But then it's always an interesting thing because, again, there's interesting items that people can see. We have a full-time collections coordinator, and she did the majority of the work, going around and sort of doing, brown furniture, porcelain, ironmongery, and just various light fittings and things like that. And actually going around the house and looking at them and sort of saying, yes, okay, happy for that to be sold. Yes, please do sell that. Actually, no, I want to keep that. That's important to me or to the collection. So, for instance, an example was a very delicate little sort of side table. I haven't got with one, two, maybe 3 little levels on it. And it had decorative sheep hooves on it. So I thought, no, that actually was really quite important, because I bet Thomas William Cook, 1st Earl of the 2nd creation, the agriculturalist, would have had that made because he was so keen on his agricultural innovations, and indeed he described, he in history is describing sheep as the golden hoof. So I thought that would have been quite an important piece to keep. Well, I think the fact that a lot of it was stored out of sight means it wasn't being viewed. It wasn't either being enjoyed by the family. I think I think the fact is that if you go to a public art gallery in this country, for every 1 painting you see on the wall, there's another 8 in the crypt. So it's important for people to see this, and I think that's why our cellar and attic tours have been so popular. I think they're pretty much booked out all the time, because it's behind the scenes. You also get to see the structure of the roof, and you can look down into the chasms to see how the statue gallery is held up, or the marble hall is held up by the wooden structures and the stucco and such like. Yeah, I think collectors, I think of 2 friends of mine who are great collectors, and they have amassed some really eclectic items, which, because they've got good eyes, meld together into a sort of beautiful room they've created, or a number of beautiful rooms. And I think a fresh pair of eyes from a purchaser might see value in something that we don't need anymore, and they will give it they will give it a new lease of life. Our vision is to be the most sustainable estate in England, and part of that sustainability is having, is sound business management and leaving the estate in a better place than I found it.